Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, I'm actually on video this time. Just for a minute. I'm not gonna be like this during the reading. I guess I'm not gonna say excuse the way I look. This is my natural setting, I guess. I usually don't like for people to look at me, you guys to see me, but this has been, I mentioned this in my previous videos, a few months ago. This is about part of this journey is about acceptance and learning to love yourself and learning to be comfortable in your own skin and to not care about what other people think. So that's why they're making me do this, I guess. It just feels really awkward. It's really weird. I'm not comfortable with myself entirely yet. It's still a process. I've tried to record this a couple of times and I'm just like, I hate this. I hate people looking at me. I don't like looking at myself. But I definitely like, this is my kitten. He's being kind of a turd, guys. Sorry. I'm definitely in a better position now than I used to be. For those of you who are new, I created this YouTube channel unexpectedly and out of nowhere, and just subconsciously reading tarot, connecting with my gifts. I'm just going to call them gifts. This is going to be a pretty big video. That's all I know. It might be in parts. I don't know if I can get my phone to handle it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just wing it. I just go. Trying to do things with too much strategy has been a big part of the message that I've been picking up lately. It becomes manipulation, like trying to get things to go your way through too much strategy, too much. Seven of Swords. It doesn't have to be malicious. It's just trying too hard, and self-sabotage is more what it is. Not malicious, just sabotaging. So that's a big part of the message for somebody. But for those of you who have not watched my videos, I promise I'm not a crazy person. I am a psychic medium. I'm a medium, you can call it. Let me just use words to explain it. Awakened. I have opened my third eye. The pineal gland? Is that how you pronounce it? I read a lot more than I, yeah, so I have to figure out how to pronounce shit with my brain. So I might do it wrong sometimes. And I've noticed, I've actually looked to, for those of you who are following me on Patreon and etc., Instagram, all that good stuff. I took my Facebook down. I don't know if anybody, I know a few people have like panicked and thought that I blocked them. That's not the case. I took my Facebook down entirely. It's only temporary, but I just don't want to deal with it right now. But if you follow me on my other accounts, I have also noticed that my notes, I write down when I do listen instead of read. I have to go by pronunciation for spelling. I mean, this is just human nature. It's part of it. Like, so my brain will go faster then my ears, I get, or fast. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I start scribbling really fast. My handwriting gets really disgusting. Okay, sorry about that. I saw that too. But my spelling is fucked. A big part of this video too, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, it all comes together in the end, I swear. I do have ADHD, so bear with me. The limbic system. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on what I'm going to do here. What I want to say here. The limbic system is what I am going to be talking about a lot in this video. And it's just the brain. Let's just go with the brain entirely. I'm going to talk a lot about the brain. I'm also going to talk a lot about what it is that I do. I'm going to try and explain what it is that I do. I'm also going to talk about twin flame a lot in this, because twin flame is what has inspired me to make this video and do this reading. It's pushed me to do this reading. I'm going to pull tarot cards. I'm going to talk a lot about the brain. I'm going to talk a lot about just neuroscience in general, philosophy, all kinds of different stuff. I'm going to go on and on and on. Some of it will be channeling. I do go into a state of meditation. It's like psychosis, or is psychosis what I'm looking for? Or it's like hypnotizing yourself, I guess, is the best way to explain it. You go into a disassociation, sort of, and reach into different dimensions, I guess. I don't know. I know I sound, I mean, you're here for a reason, you're brought here for a reason, you're watching for a reason. You probably think, this sounds like crazy person stuff, but I explain it all. I'll get to explaining it all. I have an unknown, I don't know why I did that. I have a spot on my brain. Okay? For those of you who know me in real life, for those of you who have watched my other videos, you already know this. I have had seizures my entire life, since I was a baby. 6 weeks old was my first seizure. And we've never really, they, as in like the doctors and all that, never really could help me understand what it is that was wrong. That's why I did that. Wrong. There's nothing wrong with me. They couldn't help me understand what was going on. They didn't understand what was going on. They said it's not a tumor. It's benign, and it's not like, they're like, it is a tumor, but it's benign, but no, wait, no, that's not a tumor. And then they called it scar tissue and like all kinds of stuff, but it's a particular spot in my brain. Okay. And if you look at the pictures, I don't have them anymore, but I wish I still did. If you look at the pictures, maybe I can find them somewhere eventually. I've had a lot of chaos happen in my life, so it's hard to keep up with everything. But the pineal gland is where it sort of is, and it's in the it's called the hippocampus area of the brain, which is like the center, like not here at the sides, but it's like in the center through here. I would have to actually, like, I'll eventually get like a picture of a brain and show you. You can Google search it. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You can research it. But it shows up very active in my tests and stuff. When I would go to the doctor, I would go to the neurologist, they would look at my brain, they hook you up to a machine, they put you in like a giant metal coffin, is what I've heard it explained as. It's so messed up. But they would put me in these machines, hook me to machines. I got all kinds of different tests run on me to find this activity happening. I also will be talking a lot about how, like, PTSD, ADHD, schizophrenia, I'm fascinated. I'm sorry, I don't mean it to be in like an insulting manner. I don't mean it like, I am fascinated by schizophrenia. I don't have it. It's just my way of looking at it is, and this is really, I'm trying to make sure that I word things in a way that I'm not offending anyone. I also have autism, so bear with me. Having autism, it's all in how you word yourself, okay? Because I'm not masking anymore. I've been masking it for a very long time. I didn't even know that I had all of this stuff until I was diagnosed. I started seeing a psychiatrist, therapist, psychiatrists, going to school for psychology, all kinds of things. Within the last few years, after escaping a domestic violence situation. And I'm going to get into that a lot too in my conversations and my videos. I want to talk about how I have been in very many abusive cycles. This talks a lot about this talks a lot about, this video will have a lot of talking about generational curses also. See, there's two sides to this, and what has mostly inspired me to come out and talk about it so much has been the twin flame journey part of it. Not everyone is a twin flame. It's apparently not something that is very common. Because there's karmics, there's soulmates, and there's twin flames. And I was called to begin my twin flame journey about 2 years ago. But but at the same time, it's like, you get called to begin the twin flame journey, but at the same time, it's like you've always been on it your entire life. You just start opening up to it and realizing things at a certain point. Because all humans, I've heard, I've been told, I hear, all humans are capable of what it is that I do. Seeing into the future, communicating with interdimensional beings. It's just, it comes to us all in different ways, and it's learning how to unlock it in your own personal way that you're meant to. But there's two different sides to this kind of stuff when I talk about it, and I've been inspired to talk about it so much because there's the two sides of, I only believe in science, and this is religion, and this is, and it's you know, do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm trying to break that middle ground. and bring about conversation of the differences between science, spirituality, and religion. And I'm sure there's other ways to break that up into different categories. It's a very vast, all of this is very, it's a lot, okay? It's just philosophy. It's looking into existence as a whole entirely. And it goes on and on and on, and there's so many different ways. Science is how shit works. I'm sorry. It's how shit works. Okay? I don't want to sound, I worry a lot. That's part of this, is that I worry a lot about what other people think. I worry a lot about, I get very often put in situations where I am, it's not always being bullied and berated, but a lot of the times that's what it is that makes me shut down and not want to talk about it. So I get to a point where I cannot use my words. I can't get my words out, or I can't get my mouth to say what is happening in my brain, because what is happening in my brain is going way too fast for my mouth to keep up. So then I just sound like an idiot. And a lot of the times that has gotten me in positions where when I am around someone and I get like that, and I'm around someone who is, I'm not going to say unkind, because it all goes into part of the conversation about twin flame journey. I'm not going to say unkind, because because my twin does it without meaning to. Where I get spoken to like I am an idiot, and I'm not an idiot. I'm actually a very intelligent individual. I just don't know how to keep up with it or how to express it sometimes. And it's called guilt wounds. Guilt wounds. There's a big subject about guilt wounds. Because the message that I come out with for my tarot readings is for the collective. We're all in that same vibration. We're all in that same energy. Sorry, I had to adjust that music. It kept getting louder and louder. I don't know if you guys, if my device picked it up or if you heard it, but geez. Anyway, but it's guilt wounds. Like, you feel like you're doing something that's going to get you in trouble, or something that's wrong, or something that's a flaw, or going to get berated and belittled. It's kind of like, see how it all folds together, it all comes together. Whenever you, that's why they're having me talk about this kind of stuff. Whenever you learn how to pronounce something incorrectly because you've only ever seen it by reading it, okay? You've only ever you've only ever visualized this word. You've seen it in with your eyes in a book. You've not heard it with your ears. Those are two different things. They do two different things. Okay, that's two different functions. That's two different vibrations. That's two different wavelengths. That's two different energies. That's two different, related to all things, not just, right? Okay, it's all connected. It's all one thing. You learn how to pronounce that word incorrectly because you've only ever read it. So whenever you go to pronounce it out loud with your mouth and you do it wrong, other people will point and laugh at you. They'll laugh at you. They'll make fun of you. They'll make you feel embarrassed. They'll make you feel stupid. They'll, you know, because you pronounce the word incorrectly. But you're aware of the word's existence. You're aware of its meaning. You're, you know, but that criticism makes you feel bad and makes you feel guilty, and then you go into it's part of the brain. It's psychological, it's normal, it's human to go, oh, well, that makes me just not want to even try and ever do that again. If I'm not sure how to pronounce something for certain, then I'm just not going to speak, because I don't want to get made fun of. I don't want to get laughed at. I don't want to get... Do you see what I mean? Now, there's two ways to go about it. You can, from that day forward, you double check the pronunciation of things. Before you, like, you read a word and you don't know how to pronounce it for certain, so you Google search it, the pronunciation, from then on out forever to avoid. But, and it's like, that's good, because you're gaining knowledge. It's helping you learn. It's helping you study. It gave you a new form of growth, right? But at the same time, you have that guilt wound, that shadow side, that part that's like only doing it, that's that half of you, that part of you that is only doing it to avoid being embarrassed or mistreated or feeling bad, right? Does that make sense? So it's getting rid of the guilt wounds. It's getting rid of the embarrassment part. It's getting rid of that, or learning how to, not even necessarily getting rid of it. Because you have to accept the negative with the positive. You have to accept the dark with the light. I've talked about this in my other videos as well. It's like a battery. The negative, it won't work without the negative side. Batteries have to have both a positive and negative side. It's like a battery. I saw 2222. The number 2 and the number 12 have been very specific. I'll get more into it with my reading later. I'm actually about to get into it. I'm sorry. I know I got caught up talking a lot, but hopefully, you know, this is all for a reason. But that has been the message. Something about getting rid of that part. And getting rid of that part of you that belittles or berates, right? Like, there's two sides. There's the side of the person who is going, ha ha ha, you're an idiot, you didn't pronounce that right, or ha ha ha, you sound like a stupid idiot, and I'm gonna make you feel bad for, you know, whatever. And then there's the one who is being made to feel like an idiot, being made to feel stupid. I am guilty of being on both sides. I'm sure everybody is. You know, I don't know. I don't know you personally. I don't know if, I don't know. A lot of the times too, if you think about it, if you really, really think about it, and you are looking to experience growth, you're looking to get on a positive frequency, you're looking to learn, you're looking to, and you can learn anything. Part of that is being emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is also something, you know, and a lot of people who experience very, very high basic intelligence forget how to focus on emotional intelligence. There's people out there. Let me try to word this with my mouth words, guys. There are people out there who focus so much on being basic intelligence, is what I keep wanting to say. Not having knowledge of things like science, art, literature, history, etc., etc. And they forget about emotional intelligence. And then there are people who are so deep down in emotional intelligence that they lack they lack inspiration. Not really inspiration, but they just don't know where to begin, and they don't really think about it. It's like they don't focus on basic intelligence, right? Like they don't know anything about science, art, literature, history, but they know how to love someone or respect someone or control their emotions, you know. And then there are people who strive for both, right? You've got to learn how to strive for both. It's learning how to balance. So I have, sorry if I seem like a crazy person. I'm just supposed to talk about stuff on my channel. I have been guilty. Here we go. Back to what I was saying. I have been guilty of both sides. I used to be so down deep into emotional intelligence, feelings, loving people, caring about people, and that's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. That's not something that you should see as a flaw. The flaw was that I could not practice emotional intelligence and unconditional love without being a doormat. I did not understand that you could unconditionally love someone from a distance. I did not understand that you could be harmed by someone, and that doesn't mean that you have to hate them. You don't have to use your energy towards anger and hatred. I didn't understand that. I was a doormat, and I put myself in a lot of negative situations around a lot of very mentally and emotionally draining people that I let, because I'm like, I love this person. They're, you know, when you're an empath, they call us empaths, and there's a difference between being an empath and being empathic. Okay, empathy, having empathy, empathic is, there's a difference between being an empath and having empathy. Right? Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a difference between empath and empathy. Some people don't have empathy at all. But you can have empathy and understand and feel like where people are coming from. But an empath, I could feel other people's pain that was not my own. I could meet someone and see that they had, like, oh, this person does horrible things. They do things that seem malicious. They do things that are malicious. They do things that are harmful. They do things that are toxic. They do things that are abusive. But I can see so deeply into them that I can understand and see why they do it. I feel it. I feel their anger. I feel their pain personally as if it is my own. I got around this, I'm around this person who was, I don't know, I'm around this person who was abused in a particular way. And I wasn't abused in that particular way, but I can see it. I can understand it. I can feel it anyway. despite the fact that I shouldn't have. There's a difference between sympathy and empathy. You can have sympathy for someone and think, oh my God, that makes me hurt for you. And then you can have empathy for someone where it's like, oh, I've been through the same thing, so I understand. But I had no way of understanding how that particular thing feels, but I could still feel it. So I would allow them to rub those toxicities, that pain off on me. When I was younger, I could see it in people for the future. And I didn't know how to... This is for someone who is watching that knows me. This particular part is for someone who's watching that knows me in real life. I was able, and it might be more than one. I'm going to give an example. I have been in many different forms of abusive relationships throughout my life. It has been a repeating cycle because it's part of the lesson universally, the universal lesson that I'm supposed to learn as myself, my soul journey, my own purpose soul journey. And it came out of me, these abilities, these things that I have harnessed and learning how to master and learning how to understand and learning how to control. And the mental health aspect of it too. Went through a lot of trauma. Okay? As a very young child. Different forms. Like all kinds of different traumas happening all at once. I've lived a very interesting life. Okay. I would be able to bring out parts of people, like their deepest, darkest parts, without meaning to. And it made me a very unlikable person for a long time. I've been very lovable, but also very unlikable by many. I bring out people's shadows without meaning to, okay? And it's something that I have been learning how, going through, therapy and all kinds of stuff, learning how to see my own bullshit and learning how to control that where I don't do that to people anymore, and I'm trying to bring out their light instead. Or if I do bring out someone's shadow, it is supposed to be for their highest good, like to help them, either to help me see it so I know what's going on with my dynamic between me and that person, or to help them see it so they can heal it, right? Because we all have to heal our own shadow. So there would be times when I was a teenager, when I was younger and when I was a teenager, it was like people would say, oh, it's me that's the problem, right? And turn it into I'm making things up, or that I'm projecting. And, okay, so, and which I have. I'm trying to explain this in a way where it's like, it's nobody's fault, it's both our faults, this is the energy push and pull of it. Like I would be in a relationship, like I've said, I've been in more than one abusive relationship. A lot of us have, like, everybody has abusive tendencies, everybody has toxic tendencies. I've been abusive. I've been abusive in my relationships before and brought that part out. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's like, there have been times where I have brought that out of someone and that person was actually malicious, because there are evil energies. There is a way that it goes that there's no coming back from it. There's toxic positivity, and then there's like the darkness you can't come back from, right? Because there's the positive and the negative, but there's too much of one or the other where there's an imbalance. And I would mistakenly bring something out in somebody that was like, oh no. And I could see it, and it would happen, and I could feel it, and I could sense it, but I was too young to understand how to handle it. And when I would try to tell people, or when I would get angry about it, or when I would be like, what's going on, and this person did this, and is that not okay? Is that not wrong of this person to do that? And it would get really confusing. Well, then, I don't know how to do this without, I'm not trying to tell anybody's personal business. So I'm just going to put it, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm going to put it very lightly. There was a point in time where I said, this ex-boyfriend of mine is abusive. He's abusive. He's a woman beater. He's physically violent. And he had never done anything that extreme to me while we were together. He had shown signs of physical violence and physical abuse, but because abuse is also a vast thing to go over. It's very simple, but it's also very complicated. All of everything is simple yet complicated. But and I'm the problem. I'm wrong. I'm making it up. I'm a liar. Because I have brought that part out. I had brought that part out of enough number of men for it to be like, okay, all eyes turn around and look at me. Which it makes sense, right? That makes sense. And I didn't know how to, so I just stopped. What that ended up but a few years later, when we became adults, he ended up putting his wife in the emergency room. And nobody batted an eye. Like, I don't know if anybody went, oh shit, she was right, or oh, but it's situations like that where it's like, I didn't realize I was making predictions. So I sat back in the corner and thought to myself, well, maybe it is me. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am hallucinating or making shit up, or maybe am I the drama?